Good morning, student. I, Karansinh Vala, Assistant Professor, Rai School of Management Study. Today, we are learning Unit 1, Object-Oriented Programming. So, first of all, we need to understand what is Object-Oriented Programming. Actually, the Object-Oriented Programming is a particular function and data are together for the programming that is called object orientation. And object orientation that can support encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, many more things. For example, abstraction and all the things. And actually, the object orientation programming is a primary focus on what to do is a primary focus rather than when to do. Example of that is Java, C++, and C Sharp. Here are some characteristics of C++ language, or you can say object-oriented programming with C++. That is class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. Now we can discuss each point in a brief. Here some graphical representation of a concept and its component. First of all, what is class? Class is an user defined function that can use its own data type, its own property, its own entity for calling the class. And here I can give one example for that. That is a example is a car. Car is a one kind of class that where its speed, number of a name of class that is different, but some of the features are common. That means number of wheels is 4 for each car. That is one of the example. Second one option is the object. So now to understand what is object. Object is an identifiable entity, some characteristic about particular behavior. And the programmer compile its program, that characteristics are really important. Now next one is a encapsulation. Encapsulation is that means your information and data are wrapping together and then it is represent. That is called encapsulation. Next one is an abstraction. Abstraction, that means in real life we can say that when essential information that can need to display for publicly, that is called abstraction. Those features are need not to display, that is hiding in the background. That concept is work on abstraction. Here I give you one example for same example for car. When you driving the car and accelerate to maximize your speed, you can just see a speedometer, not in initial background working on acceleration. That is called abstraction. Now polymorphism. Polymorphism, that means many kind of forms. That means in a real life situation we can say one example, one person having a multiple role in his life. First is this person has a father. Second role is this person has a husband. That is various role given to one person or many forms. That is called polymorphism. And last one is a inheritance. That means you can a particular property or a particular entity that can derive from your class. That is called inheritance. Here, one example is a class is animal, and various kind of animals are in there. That is dog, cat, cow. Now we can discuss the brief history about C++. Starting from 1962, the current state. From 1962, first one is a Simula. That is Simula 1. That is invented by Christian Niger. And after that, 1967, Simula 67 developed as a first object-oriented language. And after that, 1969 to 1973, C language was invented by Dennis Ritchie at Bell Lab. And after that, 1972, the Dennis Ritchie and Ken Thompson rewrite Unix OS in a C language. And after that, 1979, Bejarne developed a C with class. And after that, 1983, that name was renamed as a C++. And after that, 1985, the first commercial C++ compiler, C Front, released by AT&T Lab. And after that, 1989, the second version of C++ 2.0 standard release, and then 2011 major update C++ 11 standard, and now as usual more version are released time to times. Here I show an example of difference between C and C++. C is just a chocolate in a milk, and the C++ is a cupcakes made by the chocolate. Now the object-oriented is object-oriented programming, that is one kind of files, molecular, building, car. That is the example of object-oriented defined for programming. Here one example I give you, glass molecular. The data is a molecular weight and its structure. And real life example, as I earlier said, class is a car, and a public interface, that is a interior interface, and the private data or method, that is initial engine or its working. Here is the example of class object oriented programming. Now some characteristics of C++, that is first one is compile. Compile to, that means a separate compiler used for a whole C++ code and directly for the one at a time. Now second characteristics is a strongly typed and unsafe. Strongly typed, that means a programmer are free to strongly type, that means all the control over typing is given to programmer. Third one is a computable. Call a C library at a time and execute a function at a time whole. Next one is a capable of high performance. Capable of high performance, that means a very large amount of data that is controlled for the programmer. And last one is a object oriented. That means, or that I earlier give an example, function or the procedure, data, that is one kind of object. Now last point, we can say when and why to choose C++. First of all, why we choose C++? That means a complex problem that can solve with a C, easy with the programming C++. Object-oriented programming is directly connected to real world. Next, no other language quite match to C++. Expressiveness is a bigger characteristics of C++ language. Now move to the second point. When to choose? When the performance matter for the programmer, at that time you can choose a C++ language because it's or control all over the code that execute at a one time. Now the second one is a programmer productivity and less amount. That means if a scripted programming is there, then you can use C++ that can work faster. And the second one, programming language itself can help to organize your code. That means all the object closely model an element to any problem. And next one, access to library. C++ language access all the library at a time. And you can use object oriented programming, that also call an programmer language that easily to understand and work faster. Okay, thank you student. I conclude the session. Thank you for